We are super excited that we were able to track down Aubrey Dawkins from across the globe. He's coming to us live. It's 8 hours ahead from where he's at right now, but he promised not to tell us what's going on in the future. So we're going to hold him to his word. So Aubrey, first off, man, thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Sure.
We're looking forward to it. But let me start here. I was doing some research on you, and I need to know if this is true or not. So I need to fact check this.
Okay.
Were you 5'8" as a high school freshman?
And that's probably an exaggeration. I was probably more like 5'6", 5'5", honestly. Yeah.
And then by senior year, you were 6'5"?
Yeah.
Like what? How does that change your life when you grow that much in such a short amount of time? Like I can't imagine like your clothes, your shoes, like your entire life has to change.
Everything changes. Your joints hurt, your knees, everything. It's tough, but I mean, obviously, it eventually works out. You kind of grow into your body and stuff, but it happens quick, and you got to roll with it,
No, it worked out well for you. Don't get me wrong, but how tall is your dad?
6'2" on a good day.
Wow, so you got over him pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Is that a big day in your life when all of a sudden you looked up and you're looking down on Pops?
Yeah, of course. I didn't think I'd be 6'6" now. I didn't think I'd get there, but yeah, I enjoy it.
Well, let's talk about your initial recruiting period. Obviously, you were on the Bay on the West Coast in the Bay Area where your dad was at Stanford. But I also read you were kind of lightly recruited. You went to prep school for a year and then ended up in Michigan. What was your recruitment process like? How did you end up going to Michigan?
Well, I did the whole prep school thing, so I didn't have any offers coming out of high school. So prep school was really my only option. I did play AAU basketball, played on the circuit that summer between my senior year and prep school. And I picked up one offer to, I think, Cal Poly, I believe. But I mean, at the great school, great institution and whatnot. But for me, I felt like I had more in me, more options available to me, and I wanted to try and pursue those and get more exposure before I just jumped at the only option I had. And so prep school it was. Ended up having a great season there. My one year there was phenomenal. We played in the NEPSAC championship. A lot of great players in that league, and so obviously with a lot of great players, a lot of potential, a lot of D1 offers going around there. I mean, big time teams and big time coaches come out to see you, and so Coach Beeline happened to get my name come across his desk, and he came out to watch me play some pickup. Towards the end of the season, and the rest is kind of history.
Hold on a second. I need to fact check something. You're a 6'5" high school senior with the last name of Dawkins, and you had 0 scholarship offers. That's just crazy.
Zero. Yeah, I mean,
wow.
Yeah, I wish I could explain it, but I got nothing for you. But that was my life.
When did you find out your dad was first going to get the UCF job?
I mean, when he got it, pretty much. I didn't have much. I didn't hear a whole lot. And I had no heads up on it. It was kind of a surprise to me too. So, but when he did, I was obviously happy for him, and where I was in my career and whatnot, it kind of it made sense for me to make that transfer. And I loved the Michigan. It was great. I had a great 2 seasons there. Learned a lot about myself. Learned a lot about basketball. And what it takes to be, a high level basketball player. And so I definitely have gratitude and give my thanks to Coach Beeline for giving me a chance there, of course. And then transferring as well I think it was a good decision, and I'd make the same one again if I could do it again.
Were you going to go wherever he was coaching at, or is there something about UCF that you just really liked, or a mixture of both?
I couldn't even tell you that, honestly. But I think for UCF and my career goals and what I envisioned myself doing, and the player I envisioned myself being, I think UCF was a perfect place for that to happen. Obviously, it has some ups and downs, injuries and whatnot that you can't control, but ultimately the goal I had that I achieved, and that was to put UCF's name on the map, for basketball. And so with the help of my dad, and the great coaching staff and some other veteran players, obviously BJ Taylor and Taco Fall, we were able to accomplish something great, and it's something that UCF hasn't really seen before. And so that was my ultimate goal, and I think we did a pretty good job of making that happen. So.
Yeah, you were like 3 years too early, right? Because now anyone can transfer on a dime and play whatever they want, right? At the time, you couldn't. You had, people probably forget this, you had to sit out a whole year. Was that a factor in your decision at all, knowing that you'd have to take yourself off a court for an entire year to go to UCF?
Yeah, of course. You always think that, but you're always betting on yourself in this game. And so for me, it wasn't a hard decision. I mean, I knew it was a year for me to get better, a year for me to work on my game, a year for me to learn. The guys with the play style, all those kind of things. And so it really wasn't, I took it all in stride. And it was actually a very fun year. And yeah, just obviously, you don't plan on sitting out 2 years in a row, but that's kind of how it goes sometimes, right?
Yeah. Well, you step on campus, and obviously people who don't know about UCF, never been there. They're usually shocked when they step on campus, see how big it is, all the buildings, all the different stuff. What was your first impression when you step on campus? You see the football facilities, you see the basketball facilities. What were your first thoughts when you finally got to Orlando?
It was beautiful, and I saw all the potential that I've been hearing so much about at UCF, because it's all there. You really see it. And so, especially coming from a big school like Michigan, a big athletic school, it wasn't really a surprise to me to see facilities like that and such things. But obviously Michigan is Michigan. They have the tradition behind it to back it. And so you can see all those things happening at UCF. Such a big school, great area, great people. It has all the ingredients to be something very special. And it's steadily growing to that point. It just takes consistent effort, right?
Did you visit before you decided to transfer?
No.
So you saw UCF sight unseen. You were like, hey, I'm going down there.
That was it.
I was gonna say, what's that recruitment visit like? With your dad leading the visit, like, was he like? How does that even work?
It wasn't much of a recruitment visit, right? It was I got there and that was pretty much it. Showed me where the gym was, with a little bit of walking around, but for the most part, I figured the rest of it on my own.
What was that whole first year like? Obviously, you're healthy, you're able to play, but you have to sit out. Kind of sucks but they're letting you practice with the team at the same time, right?
For sure, yeah. It was fun. I mean, anybody who's ever been on what they call the scout team, the guys who are sitting out in red shirt guys, I mean, you don't have to play any real games, so it's a lot more free out there in practice. You have a lot more energy because you're not playing in games. So I mean, it was just pure fun. It was a lot of learning. It was a new dynamic for me to play for my dad, and I've constantly be around. I've never had that before. We worked out together, but when I was younger, but he never coached me. So for him to be my coach and learn that whole new dynamic, it was fun. It was a great experience.
And the team was pretty good that year. They won 24 games, went to the NIT Final Four. You had to be pretty excited to get a chance to play with guys like Taco and BJ and that whole crew.
Absolutely. Just, again, you see you see all the big things that can happen. We have all the right pieces to do something special, and so I just couldn't wait to add my own input to that, and so it was definitely exciting.
Well, 2017 comes around, and now's your time, right? You took that year off. You're ready to go. UCF fans are going crazy, right? An NIT final appearance, adding you to the roster, all the depth we had. There was just a lot of excitement. And then October, news comes out that you're going to be out for the season and with an injury. What exactly happened? What can you tell us about that injury and kind of what you experienced?
Just a day in practice, right? You're there's routine, doing the same things you do every single day, and one day something different happens. So I dove for a ball, overextended my shoulder, and tore my labrum. And it was painful. It was painful. It hurt, and I didn't really know what it was at the time. I didn't think it would end up being, a season-ending injury. And so, you go to the doctors, you get the reports, you get the MRIs, all the stuff you need to get. You get the analysis of it, and they told me that I could keep playing. I could keep playing with this torn labrum, but the chances of it happening again are going to keep going up the more you play. And so, they told me that you can give it one more try. If you re-injure it again, it's probably best you just go ahead and call it and get the surgery. And so, I gave it another try. About 2 weeks of rehab and strengthening and stability workouts and whatnot. Get back on the court, playing defense. You obviously use your arms and your hands. You can't really think about it too much because you're in the game. So you have to just, play off instinct. Somebody drives my gap. I reach in to try and hit the ball, and there was nothing there. My arm just went straight through and tore almost completely through. And that was that. Walked off the court, and tears came to my eyes, and that was the rest is history now. But it was tough. It was a very tough, very, very tough situation for me. But a great learning experience about what I know I can go through, what I know I can deal with now at this point in my career. Helps you appreciate what you do have, because at any moment it can be taken away. And obviously, what's happened to me happened to 1,000 guys, and sometimes worse. But obviously, thanks to the modern medicine and the constant advancements and treatment and rehab, nothing's ever forever anymore. It's just you have to take some time to take care of it. And so I did my best to not focus on the injury, but focus on being the best teammate I could be, the wisdom I have, the knowledge of the game and whatnot I have to help my teammates and focus on that. And that makes it easy when you're doing all you can do to still be the best teammate and best brother you can be to your guys out there. And it makes things fly by. And they appreciate seeing that because they know it's not all about you. It's about the team ultimately. And so that was my main focus.
So you go almost two years without playing a game, right?
Yeah.
Between the transfer and the injury. Yep. When you finally get back on the court, what's that feeling like? Are you nervous? Are you scared? Are you excited?
Honestly, at that point, I wasn't even nervous anymore. There was no nerves. There was just excitement. And it's kind of, you've been out 2 years. So at this point in your career, you've been through, about as bad as it can get, right? You set out 2 years in a row in the game you love, in a game that's constantly growing, constantly evolving. It just comes down to how much do you want to, be an impact and be successful. You can't think about what can go wrong, only what can go right. And so for me, it was just about going out and having fun every night and trying to win. And you get lost in that. You don't really feel the nerves. You don't really feel the pressure. It's just basketball. I'm playing it all my life.
So early in that year, we lose a game at home to FAU. And a game we probably shouldn't lose, right? But then we go on from that day and we win, I think, 12 of the next 13. Did that loss kind of spark something in the team, kind of wake you guys up a little bit? For sure.
I think, again, us being the team we were, us having the hype that we had, all the potential people see, it can kind of get to your head as a team. You think you're invincible. And that was a clear sign early that no, we're not. No matter how many, pieces we have, how many, older guys we have, it doesn't matter what it is. Once you step in that court, it doesn't matter. That team's coming to win, just like we're coming to win. And so you realize you're not invincible and you can't take anybody lightly, which we did that day. They played harder than we did and they won the game. But ultimately, it was the best thing that could happen for us early. So that way, later on down the line, further into the season, when you do have, other games, never to do that again. Never to underestimate anybody, never to not put your best foot forward, And so for us, that was exactly what we needed.
What was your dad like after a tough loss like that? Obviously, your point, as soon as Mike asked the question, I saw the smile on your face, right? Because you probably remember that game losing by 1. Mm-hmm. Was he a yeller in the locker room? Was he like more matter of fact? What was he like kind of after a tough loss like that?
He's a pretty mellow dude, and not a big screamer, not a big yeller. I mean, he can, every coach can, but that's not usually him. And for him, when he talks to it in the more direct tone, not yelling, not screaming, just in a calm, serious voice, he there's nothing that needs to be said. We know he messed up. We know what he expects of us. So just be better. There's no point in yelling and screaming. It's not going to get anything out of you. We're all young men at this point. Just be better and don't disappoint yourselves and don't disappoint people who come to support you. We deserve better. Our fans deserve better. We put too much time in to come out there lackadaisical, to come out there and act like we're better than the moment. So he's not much of a yeller, not much of a screamer. Just his presence alone, speaks volumes to how serious he takes the game, and so people know once he walks in the locker room. It's clear.
Well, maybe
what about when you guys get home? Yeah, what about after, like just the two of you, and you're not around the team, and it's does he let it fly a little bit more like that?
We do a pretty good job, or we did a pretty good job of keeping what's on the court on the court. We didn't do too much of at least not, like back and forth, barking back and forth. We did a good job of leaving that on the court. But as far as just talking about the game, we would talk about it for sure. Maybe not every time. Sometimes you gotta let the head cool down, or let your emotions kind of flatten out so you can see the bigger picture. But we would communicate at home about the games and kind of discuss certain situations or whatever. And it would always be productive. Just about learning, getting better. What he saw, what I saw, what we need to change, such things as that. But it was always good. That's it. It was a really great, just a great experience to have, and to be able to be in that environment with somebody who knows the game so well, but it's also my father. So you get those moments that a lot of players and guys don't usually get. So it was definitely beneficial for us and the team, because I can also voice what my dad is saying to my players, to my teammates. You know what I'm saying? I can maybe not obviously my dad. I wouldn't say my dad said this, but just things he says to me, I can voice in a way that comes from me and what I believe. And we kind of put that together, and it helps guys understand.
Were you living at home at the time, or were you living on campus?
No. I wasn't doing that. No.
Well, no. Maybe he yelled at you guys after the Memphis game, because Mike said you guys went on a nice run there, and then we go to Memphis.
Oh.
We get dropped by 20. They later beat us in the AAC. Aubrey, what is it about playing at Memphis? Even to this day, UCF struggles whenever we go to Memphis. What is it? The court? Is it that stupid blue pattern? What is it about Memphis that UCF struggles whenever we play there?
I can't put my finger on it, honestly. I don't know. I really do not know. Those were, if I remember correctly, two of my worst games of the season. Both times playing them in the conference tournament and in our away game there. They have a certain confidence in that gym, in that arena. Penny brings a certain confidence, a certain swagger to the game, to the fans. And that place is hostile. Fans are yelling, fans are chirping. The team is confident. The team is out there like you would have thought they won every game of the season so far, the way they play at home. And it's tough to play against. But you love playing there. Those are the moments you want. I don't know about every other player, but for me, I much prefer playing on the road than I do at home. I like being in those environments. I like shutting people up and silencing the crowd and having those moments where it's like, yeah, we're in a hostile environment, but we're still coming in here to win. We're not going to be afraid of what you guys bring. And so those are moments I like to play in.
Well, you had one of those. Let me set the stage for this one for people who forget. It's early March. We're at Houston. At the time, they are ranked number 8 in the country, right? It's a hard-fought game. You guys are hanging in there. It's kind of back and forth. Houston takes the lead by 2, a minute 57 to go. Your dad calls a timeout. Yep. You guys go to the huddle. Take me into the huddle first. What was decided in the huddle? What was the play call? What did you guys want to get out of that timeout?
Exactly what we got out of that timeout. That 3 ball. That was we wanted to let it be known that we're here. That you guys have a 33-game home winning streak. You guys are the top team in the league, but we're coming to stop all that, to shut it all down, to say that UCF is on the map and UCF is here to play ball. And so I remember that shot vividly. That was it almost feels like it almost feels surreal. So those moments like I can't believe that was us, that was my team, that we were the guys who beat them. And so,
well, take us through that. How'd you get open and how'd you hit that shot?
I know it was an out of bounds play. I forget what the play was called. I don't even remember what exactly, why even started that. I remember I'm getting the screen. I think the screen was by Colin Smith, if I remember correctly. A screen going to the corner, ball side corner. I got open, ran off it, and got a quick release, got a quick glimpse of the basket, and we're down by 2. You fire it. You fire, especially with me and in my role on the team at this time. Like that's the shot we need, and I got to step up and take it. They call on my name, they call my number, then it's my job to deliver. So I have the utmost confidence in myself. My teammates have the utmost confidence in me to take that shot and make that shot, and the rest is history.
Well, I think it's interesting. So there was no talk about going for 2 and tying the game. You guys wanted the 3 ball?
really just the best shot available. And so, again, in that moment, that's the best shot available, right? Like a 40+% 3-point shooter, one of the leading scorers in the team, one of the leaders of the team. Like whether it was a lob to tackle at the rim for the dunk or me or BJ coming off a screen for wide open three, you got to take it. You got to take it. You can't, that's basketball. Sometimes you can't force the shot you want. You got to play what the defense gives you. And so if I'm open off a screen, I got to shoot it. Right? There is no other option. I'm not looking to pass. I'm not looking to. If I'm open, I got to take it.
That was a huge win, not just for that team, but for the program in general. You guys coming out of that game, the confidence had to be at an all-time high after that win, right?
Absolutely. That's that was definitely a pivotal moment in our season, right? That kind of stamped all that we thought we could be. That kind of stamped it. That we know we can do this. We know we can be something special. And we know if we keep doing what we're doing, we can make noise when March comes around, March Madness. And so that was exactly what we needed.
But after that, I mean, we do beat Cincinnati at home. That was another big win. But we lose 2 of the next 3, including that game in Memphis where we get blown out in the tournament. Do you start to even maybe question yourself? What is this team doing going into the tournament?
I don't know if we're necessarily questioning ourselves, but it's definitely like you might gotta lay in the guys a little bit. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Especially us as the leaders in the team, me, Taco, BJ. But we gotta step up. We can't get complacent. We've won a few games, so what? We're not. A lot of teams have. You think Duke becomes Duke by getting complacent, or Kentucky becomes Kentucky by getting complacent? You got to have the same consistent effort every single game, no matter who you're playing against. You're there to dominate. You're there to win. There is no we can take these guys easy. We can take this game lightly. No, this game doesn't matter. Every game matters. And so you take it with that approach. And so I remember after, I think it was a Temple game, we lost that Temple. I remember that I said something along those lines in the locker room. Like, this is something that we have to have pride in. Nobody believes in us. We got to believe in us. We're a young team. We're a young school. We don't have much tradition within this basketball world. We got to start it. We're here to start this. We're here to lay the groundwork for this. And so that's kind of at least my thought process. And I know obviously BJ and Taco as well. That was how we were thinking about it and how we were approaching it. If we want to be something special, we got to be consistent.
Well, you get to the tourney. First of all, were you guys aware? I know you weren't playing all those years, right? But this UCF had never won a game in the NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. Were you guys aware of that? Was that something you guys were even thinking about, or is that you guys just didn't care? You want to play? That's
it. We didn't care. We wanted to play. It was we're the UCF as of now. I'm saying, all respect to the guys before us and the guys to come after us, but we're the ones here now. So let's make something happen. We can't think about what hasn't happened and what did happen. We just got to play, and that's the only thing that really matters.
When you guys draw VCU, a tough defensive team, and they're a tough out, right? They're a scrappy team. They play hard. You guys, I mean, I don't want to say dominated, but you were in control for most of that game. Did it feel good when that horn sounds and you guys had that kind of monkey off your back? You had that first dub, and you were like, okay, now we can kind of settle in and go on this ride.
Absolutely. It's kind of like I said, the monkey off your back, the weight off your shoulders. You feel a release of the pressure and a little bit of the stress. Like, when you're trying to do something special. Especially for us, we know this game is special. We don't want to make it bigger than it is. But if we win this game, we already do something that UCF never even seen before, and our names will forever be on that. We are now down in history as the first team to win the UCF game, in March Madness. So that's special. But you can't think about it in the moment. You have to spend that and just play like it's a regular season game. You can't make it bigger than it is.
All right, Albert, just me and you talking here, right? Just two guys cutting it up. When that tournament bracket came out, you saw Duke sitting there, right? You saw the possibility of Duke sitting there in round 2, right?
Absolutely.
That's the first thing you saw. What were your emotions thinking through that could happen? Obviously, for those who have lived under a rock all their life, obviously your dad, a great player at Duke. You were born in Durham, right? That's probably a place you call home. What were your emotions when you realized, hey, that this is a possibility that we may see these guys in round 2?
I mean, again, for me, since I'm my father's child, right? Like, this is how I was raised to be. It's just a game, It's a super cool for sure. Yeah, it's super cool. It's something that is definitely like storybook type riot. That doesn't even sound like it's possible, but it happened. And again, you're excited for it. I know, me being me, I'm excited for it. I grew up in those gyms. I grew up shooting in Camden Indoor Stadium. I grew up seeing Coach K walking around and like just being in the world of such Hall of Fame basketball. And so it was exciting for me to be able to suit up against that team after all these years, to be able to play against them and see what it's about. And so see what all the hype, all the accolades you see walking up and down the halls, and Duke, all the wins, all the championships, all the legacy. Let's put it to the test. And so that was my thought process.
Take us into the locker room before that game. Can you see in the other guys' eyes where you see people nervous, excited? Was there a lot of talking? Was it any different before the game? Did your dad give a crazy speech to let you guys up or nothing?
I mean, I'm sure he gave a great speech to kind of light us up, and be ready. But again, we had the same mentality the whole season. It's a game by game, one win by one win mentality. We don't look too far in the future. We don't look too far in the past. We just take it game by game. So, and this is just another game we're playing. And so we actually, obviously, we ended up in March Madness. So we stood by that pretty well, and it led us to success. So it felt pretty normal. Obviously, going out onto the court and warming up, you see how packed the house is, and all the Duke fans, and how full it is, and you see just all the Duke fans in the little bit of UCF. You're like, oh wow, this is different. But it's just a game. It's just a game. It was again. It doesn't feel like it's even been 3 years, but it has, and it was it's a great period in my life.
You had an incredible performance that day.
Yeah.
I mean, you were on fire from three, from everywhere. Have you ever been in a zone like that? Or does it feel different when you're just hitting every shot you throw it up? Yeah. I mean, it's in the moment you don't really think about it. Again, you just play the game. So I wasn't really aware of what was going on, what was happening. I was just trying to win the game. When the game was over, you may look back, and you'll hear people say this, say that. But it wasn't my focus. I'm just trying to win. So if I need to score 50 points and we win, cool. If I need to score 7 points and we win, cool. I'm not looking at it like, trying to be a hero, just playing basketball. And the game just happened to come to me that night. And I'm glad it did. It kept us in it. And it's extremely heartbreaking. But again, it's just like a storybook ending, right?
Does the basket look like an ocean to you when you're in one of those zones? Does it look like if you just, it just feels like you can't miss, right?
It's all muscle memory, right? Like you work out so much, you train so much, you expect to make these shots. And no, you can't make every shot in basketball, but you expect to make them. And so for me, and I know anybody who shoots the basketball and is labeled a shooter or a scorer, whatever it is, you don't think you're gonna miss any shot. It's so, but sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. And sometimes they go in more times, and that's just how the game plays out. And so I don't look at it like that. I just know when the ball feels good coming out my hand, it's probably going in. And if the ball felt good coming out my hand a lot more often than maybe in most games.
All right, I got a lot to ask about this game. I'm not over this game personally. I'm sure not either. So can we first talk about? We can all agree now. RJ Barrett absolutely shoved you in the back on that rebound. Can we all agree to that right now? We all think that's true.
It's true. It's true.
Okay,
it's true.
I mean, like you felt the shove, right? You physically felt him shoving you, correct?
I'm not much of a flopper. That's not my game. So I'm not gonna try and sell anything that didn't happen. Granted, should I have boxed out maybe a little harder? For sure. But that's basketball. You're not gonna make every play correct. So it's unfortunate because I was that whole season pushing in the back and what's the other one? Pushing.
I'm gonna get to it. Hook and hold is the other one.
Yeah, hook and hold. Those two were they told you before every game, in the captain's huddle. Those are like flagrant fouls, every time. And so we even saw those happen throughout the season that they would call that. And so for a free throw to happen and for a push in the back on one side and hook and hold on the other side, and you miss both, that's frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, Colin Smith got absolutely mobbed, right? His entire left arm was pinned against his body. He absolutely got hooked on that one. Do you? I mean, I know it's a bang play, right? Obviously, after the free throw, people are jumping around. Do you say anything to the ref? Or are you like, hey, bro, you might have missed that? Do you even offer any sort of commentary? Or are you just kind of moving on at that point?
Nothing you can do. Nothing. It's over with. Nothing you can do. You just hope they make the right call the next time down. But that's basketball, right? I mean, the refs are a part of the game. They're literally a part of the game. And so. You can't get every call. They're not going to get every call. They're human just like we're human. And so you have to kind of, again, accept it and roll with it. I know we see in the NBA, you see guys yelling and complaining all the time to the refs, but ultimately we have no control over what they do. And so it's unfortunate, but those are things you have to kind of weigh into factors of winning and losing. A lot of times playing against a team like Duke's or any top team, you have to be 10 points better than them to win the game. If there's 50-50, you're not going to get it. You automatically assume that. And that's they've earned that right. They've been on top for so long. Like, there's nothing you can really say about it.
Well, let's confirm something I've always known. You're much nicer than I am. Next question for you. So it's not over yet at this point, right? We still have some time, right? You guys go to the huddle.
Yep.
What was the conversation like in the huddle? What did you guys want to get out of that timeout? And did you guys get the shot you wanted ultimately towards the end there with BJ's runner?
Yeah, that was exactly what was drawn up. Exactly what was drawn up. I mean, that's a shot that BJ, if he doesn't make it, he usually gets a foul call on it. And we got neither.
We can talk about that too. There was a little bit of a push. Yep.
Yeah, he got neither. So, there is no, you don't stop, you don't pause. It's just what's next. There's still time on the clock. What's next? And I do what I do. I don't get it, but either way, that's the winning spirit of basketball, right? Like that shot could have easily gone in because everybody stops and freezes when somebody takes a shot. Everybody's first initial reaction is to stop and look instead of keep playing and make the next play. And so it was to my advantage. Everybody stopped and looked. I didn't. I went to make the next play. You miss some, you make some, right?
I mean, I can't even say game of inches. That's a game of millimeters. The ball's on the rim, man. You ever see how many shots like that has not gone in for you like that? Never?
It immediately reminded me of that NEPSAC championship game I told you about earlier in the conversation. I had a shot. It wasn't to win the game, but it was late, probably under a minute left, and I had a shot, a chance to tie the game and take the lead. And it was a baseline drive, and I went to lay it up, and it rolled off the rim just like that. And I told myself after that game, I told myself that I'll redeem myself for that. And I almost had a chance, but now I'm 0-2 for it. And so, it's, again, you can't win them all.
Man, I think I was on the floor for 10 minutes after that game. I couldn't move. I can't imagine the emotions you guys went through. Were you angry? Are you sad? We talked about the penalty, the fouls that should have been called. Looking back on all that stuff, what are you feeling like right after the game?
Anger. Just angry, extremely proud of my teammates and what we were able to do and even making it such a game. Because obviously, I know what the fans are saying, what the media is saying. Like this should be a win for Duke, whatever. All the hype around it, but we were supposed to be there. We were meant to be there. We were meant to be in that game. We didn't get here by luck. We were a good basketball team. So it's just anger. Just you're upset. You're disappointed. You think about all the things that could have gone right that we made mistakes on, turnovers, bad shots, anything. You think about all the things that could have gave you 2 more points to win the game. When you lose by 1, you think of everything that kept you away from having that 1-point lead instead of losing by 1. So you remember everything.
Well, one of the things I remember the most, and if you're a sports fan, I don't care if you're a UCF fan or not. The post-game speech your dad gave in the locker room, it went viral, obviously, the way he talked to you guys. What do you remember about that speech? And specifically for you, I mean, it had to be, super tough, right? Obviously, this is your team, these are your brothers, your teammates, but also that's also your dad. What was that moment like for you? How special was that speech? Because I know I still tear up thinking about it. How about you guys in the locker room that day?
Yeah. Obviously, a lot of tears, sniffing, crying. But I can't even remember exactly what was said, but I know how it made me feel. And I felt for him too, because again, this is his school he played against. He was at Duke. And so I know he wanted to win this game very badly too, because I mean, you're a competitor. You want to win. and how it's just a crazy story to be able to play against your old college coach, and all you want to do is win. The competitor in you, the kid in you, those are the moments you want to be in. And so it hurt. I felt so bad for him and our team, because we fought so hard. We did everything we could to get there. We're in a place that UCF never really been before, playing against one of the, if not the most notable college basketball team ever. And so it was tough, but he exactly what you saw, exactly how he is, and he's the reason I am how I am about winning and losing. Like that's the sport we play. It's the nature of the game. You can't get too broken up about it. You can't get too high on your horse about the wins. You have to just stay consistent and stay the course. You're going to win, you're going to lose, but as long as you understand the principle behind it, why you lost, why you won, and to have the same competitive nature no matter what, then you'll find success and you'll see it. And so a lot of us who were on that team have continued to find success in the game of basketball because that's the foundation we have.
Well, you had a decision to make, obviously, after that, right? You'd spent a year at prep school, 2 years in Michigan, 2 years sitting out at UCF, and then playing a year. You'd pretty much been through it all from a college basketball standpoint. But obviously, you had 1 year left. You could have come back if you wanted to. Yeah. What kind of went into your thought process and your decision to decide that you were gonna leave UCF?
It was time. I did 5 years of college. I already came in a year older than the average freshman. And I have dreams, I have goals. And so you have a very short window to find success in this game and to be all you can be in it. And so for me, my ultimate goal was to, whether it's my freshman year of college or this year I played my 5th year, my ultimate goal was to be the best college player I could be before I decided to move on to the next step. And so I felt like at UCF in that season, I did what I was supposed to do. I could leave college basketball knowing I did all I could do. And I think everybody who watched me in that season was like, okay, yeah, this guy was a legitimate college basketball player and led a team with his brothers, with BJ and Taco to success. And so for me, that's all I needed. And I could live with that. And I was also going to be 24 years old a couple months after the season. So I'm like, I don't want to be 25 in college basketball. Let me, I have other dreams and I want to pursue. And that was the NBA.
Does Coach Johnny Dawkins try to talk you out of it while Father Johnny Dawkins wants the best for you?
No. He ultimately understood, and he thinks it was the right decision too. And again, also, you never know what can happen in basketball. Just like my injuries, it's sitting out. It's every year. You just never know. And so, again, you got a short window to be all you can be in this game. So go chase it. Go chase it. Especially once you've done what I did in that season. You go chase it. It's there for you. And once you make the decision, you can't look back. You can't second guess it. You got to be all in. Because nobody's going to help you. Nobody's going to give it to you. You got to go take it.
There's a lot of fans, myself included, when things don't go right and they maybe start blaming the coach for this or that, whether they're right or wrong. How does that affect you? Your dad is the coach. Do you even pay attention to that stuff? Does it affect you at all? Or just rolls off your back?
I mean, I didn't have social media back then. I just got back on recently. So I didn't see it, first of all. And ultimately, like I said, I mean, we play the game and fans watch the game. They don't have all the answers. They don't know what goes on in the locker room. They don't have all the ins and outs of the game, what's said in the huddles. So you can't pay attention to it. And you can't get too caught up in what people are saying about it, whether it's a win, whether it's a loss. Because I mean, the moment you give energy to that is the moment you lose focus on what's really important. And so you got to stay locked in on the game, on the court, and let everything else just be, in one ear out the other.
What about dealing with teammates? I mean, maybe a guy's not happy about his playing time or things like that. Yeah. You notice guys kind of treat you differently because you're the coach's son?
Nope. There was actually none of that. It was actually, I mean, as far as I can tell, it was no different than playing when I was at Michigan. It was the guys suspected the coach. There was no, obviously guys laugh and joke a little bit, whatever, but it was always in a respectful way. So that was never even an issue of them looking at me differently, treating me differently, looking at treating my father, the coach differently. It was all with respect, no matter what happened, no matter who got in trouble, no matter who, whatever was going on, it was always done in a respectful manner. And that's just a testament to the coach my father is, and to the character of guys we had on the team. Like it was no uncomfortable moments because of the dynamic of the coach and son. It was always professional, always very mature, and I appreciate them for giving me that experience.
Well, after you left UCF, you spent some time with the summer league team with the Pelicans. You spent some time with the G League, and I think you're over in Turkey now playing. So far, how is your pro career? Is it what you thought it would be? Are you enjoying still being a professional basketball player? Is it everything from a dream standpoint?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's they say plans have a way of working out on paper. Like this is not. It's not exactly what I expected, but I love every second of it. I've worked my butt off to get here, and I'm playing in one of the top leagues in Europe, and that's great. You got to keep it all in perspective. You can't get caught up looking left and right. Like, was the NBA an ultimate dream? For sure, and it still is. I'm not gonna let that go until the day I stop playing basketball. But until then, that gives me something to shoot for. And so it's been a journey, but it's been fun. You learn a lot about yourself. Being overseas is a blessing in its own right. You may not. It may not seem like it all the time, but it's a place of constant learning. You're constantly uncomfortable. You're constantly in a new environment. And all it does is build perspective and give you culture. And those are things you can't put a price on, right? That's just life knowledge, stuff you can pass on to the next person, whether it be your kids, your family, anybody. And yeah, I'm really enjoying the journey. To keep it simple.
Are you still able to catch up with UCF games? And obviously the time difference is different. Are you still able to watch as many games as you want this year?
No, not at all. I wish I could watch more. The 8 hours is tough. It's just I see the stats, box scores, such things as that. I may reach out to guys, from time to time on the team, words of encouragement here and there. But I don't get to watch the games as much as I'd like to.
Well, we got a big one coming up this week. Or if we can beat Tulane, then we can beat Temple. We have a chance to get in that top seed in the tournament. So we got some momentum maybe on our side, Aubrey. Yeah.
I was actually just kind of talking about that with someone on the phone a couple of days ago actually, and so it's we can do it. You got to believe it. You got to want it. It's there, but you got to, like I said, you got to go take it. Nobody's going to give it to you.
Well, look, I know you've got a hard stop coming up soon, so we're going to let you out here. But we've got a couple of fun, quick questions for you. Rapid fire, could be music, movies, sports. Okay. You never know what you're going to get. I'm going to hit you with a hard one off the top. I apologize in advance. We just celebrated President's Day, Aubrey. One of the things with President's Day is the Mount Rushmore, right? The four faces, right? So I need you to give me your official Mount Rushmore of Duke basketball players.
Of Duke basketball players. Whoo. Of course, Johnny Dawkins.
Okay, that's what I was. Okay, good.
Of course, Grant Hill.
Okay.
Christian Laettner, you gotta
go Laettner. Yeah,
you gotta go Laettner.
You gotta do it.
And 4. You gotta go JJ. I gotta.
Okay.
I gotta give it to JJ. He and especially after being with the Pelicans and he was with them and seeing his work ethic and just the level of commitment and the type of guy he is, man. Obviously, there's a ton of great stuff I do. So whoever's listening to this, don't take it as disrespect, because there's the Shane Battier's and Sheldon Williams. There's all kind of players that are just great players, super talented. But he everything he got, everything he earned from in his career, it's just being able to see him work in person from a guy who also is a very committed worker to his craft. Like that's really awesome to see. So it kind of came full circle, me seeing him when I'm a kid growing up, watching him play and whatnot. Then be the same team as him and seeing him work out in the gym and get the same shots that he was getting up, back in 2005, 6. It's crazy. And so, I gotta give it to JJ.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. The only other name I wrote down was Danny Ferry, but I don't know if I'm ready to go.
Danny Ferry, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's outside looking in. He's OLI. I don't think he's on that Mount Rushmore.
There's a lot of great players come through Duke. Jeez, yeah. Wow. Yeah. What's next?
All right. I got to speak to your dad before this season started in the off season, and he wouldn't answer this question, and maybe you will. Michael Jordan or LeBron James? Who's the best?
That's tough for me because my GOAT is Kobe Bryant. So that's a hard choice, and I can't. Again, he's my favorite. He's my GOAT, but I hate comparing players, and I hate trying to make that distinction because it's just there's too much. The question is not black and white, right? The times change, the game changes, the standards change, and so it's just I can't do it. And they both did it in their own way. And so for me, like I love the way LeBron plays the game, but I also love the way Jordan plays the game. I can't pick one either.
Just like you did.
These Dawkins guys are good.
It's impossible. It's impossible. Really, if you really appreciate it's impossible. I can't.
All right. Well, we got to know you a little bit. Now it's time for you to dime out some of your teammates, right? So I got some questions. You tell me which teammate's most likely to do these things, okay?
Okay.
Which teammate of yours is most likely to be on a reality show?
From that UCF team.
Yeah. From your time at UCF, most likely to be on a reality show.
From any of my 3 years or just that last year?
Any of your 3 years.
Nick Banyard, 2016, 2017.
Yeah, okay. What show do you think Nick would go on?
Love Island.
All right. Which one of your teammates is most likely to get a speeding ticket?
BJ Taylor. Or Matt Williams. That's a tough one. One of those two.
BJ Taylor, he's got a lead foot? He gets out of that ticket. In Orlando, he gets out of that ticket, right?
Probably.
He talks his way. He's the mayor of Orlando these days. He talks his way out of that ticket. There's no question. Which one of your teammates is most likely to run a marathon right now?
Right now? On that team? Oh, AJ Davis.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we talked to AJ. He's a good dude. Which one of your teammates back then is most likely to own a pet snake today?
Ooh. Pet snake. Chad Brown.
Okay. No follow-up needed on that one. Which one of your teammates is most likely, if you're, let's say you're having a bad day, right? Just a bad day at the office. Mm-hmm. You need someone to make you laugh. Which teammate are you going to call first?
It's about to make me laugh.
You just need a laugh. You need someone to put you in a good mood.
Tanksley Effiani.
Okay. Fair enough. Last one. Which one of your teammates most likely to become a coach?
Ooh. Dang. I would go, again, BJ Taylor or Nick Banyard, I'd say.
Well, I don't know if you're keeping up with BJ. He's a media star now. He's on ESPN broadcast. He comes on with us every week. He's on iHeartRadio. I mean, he won't even return my text messages anymore. He's so big time, Aubrey. I don't know what he was to do.
He doesn't text me back either. I don't
oh, okay. I don't feel so bad then.
All right. You mentioned that you're playing over in Turkey nowadays. What's your favorite dish that you eat over there that you don't get back here in the States?
That's a tough question. That's a tough question. Yeah, I don't know. You get to try so many different delicacies over here. I'm happy. I don't even know the name of it, but you just know it's good. That's tough. But the desserts, the baklava, amazing. Yes,
I'll take it. We had Isaiah Sykes on a few weeks ago, and he was telling us he was playing at that time, and the game that he had that night, his coach had taken a vacation. His coach was on PTO, didn't go to the game, was in London, and had someone else coach the game instead. What's the craziest thing you've experienced playing overseas? Do you have anything that can top your coach taking a PTO day during a game day?
No, I don't have. I don't think so. That's nuts. You're at your coach. That's nuts. I mean, the overseas is an experience, and you hear a lot of crazy horror stories, and you also have great situations too. And I've been blessed to mostly be in good situations. Some weird things here and there, but nothing that's like, that nothing like my coach not being there because he's on vacation in the middle of the season. That's nuts. That's just nuts. Yeah, no, I can't top that.
Well, Zeke told us that he found the game in overseas to be way more physical. Guys play defense. It's a much more physical game. Do you find that same thing?
Yeah, I think overseas game is definitely more similar to college in that regard. It's not the NBA is kind of its own, but especially in Europe, the game is definitely more physical. It's a slower game. When guys, there's definitely is defense being played, and there's not much care for the body out there. Guys are getting undercut, diving, dirty, chippy plays. Like you gotta be ready for it. You definitely do. You gotta be ready for it and ready to protect yourself too.
All right, what's your favorite basketball movie?
Ooh. The Space Jam film?
Sure, I guess.
There it is.
Well, hold on. The original or the LeBron? I can get the MJ LeBron question answered. The original or the new one?
We know which one.
Okay.
There's no question.
We're all on the same page.
There's no, and the original one can't be touched.
We're all on the same page. All right, we'll let you out of here with this last question. Okay. We ask a lot of guys this, and so you are the perfect person. Give me your best Johnny Dawkins impression.
I don't know if he'll appreciate this.
He won't watch anyway. That's fine. We'll cut this out. That's fine. Imagine you guys had a hard practice. You guys lost the night before, hard practice. You guys didn't play hard. He comes in. He's going to address the team. Give me what he's going to say to us.
Well, it's all about the hand gestures. You really gotta get into it. And he'd probably address the room like, dude, I don't know what team that was last night, but that wasn't my team. Listen up. We're a zero excuse program. We don't. What I saw yesterday, not my team. Come on, dude, and start pointing guys out who did what. Taco. We need to grab some rebound. Now, obviously, add some cuss words into this.
Fair enough.
It's not gonna be so kind. We need some cuss words. Oh, you gotta make a shot. You gotta make a shot. I'm not playing anymore. I can't make the shot. You gotta make the shot. We need you to step up. BJ, you gotta be a leader. You can't be quiet. You gotta talk to these guys. Come on, dude. And they'll say dude 1,000 times. And it's hilarious. It's fun to laugh at now. You can't laugh at it in the moment.
I noticed your dad's changed his goatee style too. He had a thicker goatee for a while. Now he's thinner. Is it like is he being nicer? You think with the thinner goatee? Was he like evil Johnny with the thicker goatee?
Times are slowly changing, right? The college basketball atmosphere is changing. You gotta kind of move with the times, right? You got to kind of adapt. And so I think he's just moving with it, keeping it up to date.
Do you think does he enjoy? If his players are putting on music in the locker room right now, is he cool with it? Does he want to play some old school? Like, what's your dad's music of choice?
He doesn't appreciate nor advocate for the new school rap. He's old school classics, definitely R&B. Not too much into hardcore hip hop.
Okay. Well, that's fair enough. Look, man, I know you got to run. We appreciate you taking so much time to chat with us. It was a lot of fun, man. Definitely enjoy catching up with you. Wish you the best of luck as you continue, man. Hopefully when you get back to the States, we can if BJ ever texts me back, maybe we can figure out a way to get us all hooked up, man. But definitely appreciate you taking some time.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been really fun.
Thanks a lot, Aubrey. This was awesome.
Of course.